Hi, Grizzly Fit family. This is Leslie and another episode of GrizzFit TV, and I'm here interviewing one of our members. This is Heidi Lundgren, and the special thing about her is she's about ready to go to competition. She is a super faithful member here at Grizzly Family Fitness. And so, Heidi, how many years have you been a member?
I've been a member here since 2014, so about 7 years I've been here.
So a really long time membership. Yeah. And as I've worked here, I have seen her work out faithfully. She's about ready to go to a actual bodybuilding competition. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is just her competition that she's going to and what it takes to kind of be able to be a bodybuilder. So Heidi, when did you get started with all this?
I started a long time ago, back in 1992. In high school, I was 18 years old and I was going to graduate. I've always liked sports, basketball, track, but I was never really good enough to play in college. Okay. But I love to compete. So. Yeah. I started weight training, and I had a guy approach me. His name was Gordon Stewart. I worked at Valley Health Club in Wasilla, the front desk, and he got me into bodybuilding.
Wow.
So my first show was 1992. We did the Arctic Classic on Elmendorf base.
Wow. Yeah. So when you were really young, younger than that, did you ever think you'd do that type of thing at all?
Yes, I've always been really into bodybuilders. All through junior high, even I would always wanted to be a bodybuilder. So here I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. Yeah. And so you are. How long of a break have you taken since your last competition?
My last show was in 2018.
Okay.
So it's been a couple years. Yeah.
So what does it take to get ready for one of these? And how do you know if you're going to be, you've done this for a long time, so you kind of have a better idea of how well you'll do competing and stuff. But if someone was to just start out, how long would it take? And
it depends on how good a shape they are when they start.
Right.
But a 6-month prep is pretty much what it would take.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been preparing for this specific competition?
About 6 months,
okay.
I would say. I was going to compete last year, and a month out, everything, it got canceled, so.
Okay. All right.
So I'm just continuing.
So what is this competition called, and how do you enter it? And is it a state level first, and then you move on?
Well, it's a state level show. It's a Washington State show is the one I'm doing, the Washington State Championships. It's an amateur show. There's amateur shows, and then doesn't mean I'm an amateur, but amateur shows, and then there's national shows, and then there's pro shows. So in order to do nationals, you have to win an amateur show and qualify for nationals.
Okay.
So I've qualified for nationals about 4 times, but if you don't compete within a year, you lose your qualification. So you got to start over again.
Okay, that makes sense, because you might not be in the same physical condition and everything between times.
Oh, they just want you to compete within that year. So
okay, all right.
So here I am trying to qualify again.
Okay, so now when you go to a show like this, are you actually representing Alaska, or is it just more it doesn't really matter? They don't really talk about who you're representing?
I say I'm representing Alaska because I think I'll be the only Alaskan, lady there. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, so I'm representing Alaska, yes.
Okay, cool. Do you know of any other men in the state that might be going?
Yeah, a good friend of mine, Ashley Schultz, he's going to be competing. So he'll be competing in the same show. Okay,
that's really cool. So as a bodybuilder, do you have kind of a group of people that you keep in contact with and kind of share stories?
Have our own little, crowd. But I'm more of a loner bodybuilder, I would say. I'm not really on a team. I've been doing this by myself for a long time. You know, I now have a coach. It's the first
Oh, you do?
time I have a coach, but
Okay.
usually I've always did everything by myself, my diet, my routines, my workouts, everything through trial and error, you know,
Okay.
figure out what works for me. You know, when I first started, when I did my diet, I knew nothing about diet, so as long as it was
Right.
fat-free, but I didn't see that it was loaded with sugar, you know.
Right. Okay.
So-
Yes, I've heard that so many times.
Yeah,
before.
so you just gotta, you know, see what works for you. You know,
Right.
some people are better with carbs, some people are better with fats. You know, it just depends on the person.
Yeah, there's a real science to it. It seems.
Yeah, you just play with it until you
So when
until you
you're
get
in
it, and I still don't have it, but
Yeah, so when you're in the middle of all this stuff and you're having to be so incredibly disciplined, and I've seen her come in and work and work and work. So about how much time does it take per day to?
well,
really
right now it's quite a
focus on it?
bit. I've been coming in 3 times a day. I have about an hour and 5 minutes of cardio, hard cardio, HIIT cardio,
Okay.
which I've never did in my cardio before. This is the first time.
Okay.
So HIIT's new, and it works for me, so I like it.
Great.
But and then moderate cardio, and then I'll come back mid-afternoon and lift, and then I'll come back again at night and do another hour and 5 minutes of cardio.
Okay, so like with the competition too, I'm kind of curious, is it based a lot on how you look or how much you lift weight-wise, or how does that
it
all
has
work?
nothing to do with, that's powerlifting, which is completely different.
Okay.
Bodybuilding is you're judged on your physique.
Okay.
Yeah, size, symmetry, and leanness.
Okay.
So
Do
they judge on those 3 things.
Do they just go by looks, or do they have a panel of judges, or do they actually like measure you on some sort of machinery for body fat levels and
No,
muscle levels?
They don't do any body fat. You just, you have a panel of judges, and you have weight classes.
Okay.
And there's different categories. There's bikini, and then there's figure, and there's fitness, and there's women's physique, and
Okay.
and there's bodybuilding.
All right.
I'm in women's physique, which is very similar to bodybuilding. It's just more feminine.
Okay.
Not as muscular.
Okay. And what about like age groups? Is there?
There are age groups. There's open class, which could be any age, and then
Okay.
there's usually masters classes, 30 and above, 35 and above, 40 and above.
Okay. Wow.
Sometimes 70 and above. Those guys are awesome.
Wow, that's incredible. That's neat. Okay, and so you also you're a mom, so you have a couple of daughters. So how has that affected their lives, and with all your having to do all these workouts and even your special diet, like how does that affect them?
Well, they get sick of eating broccoli and chicken, but I do feed them kid food also. So.
And since you've done this for so long, I would imagine they've kind of just like they've always seen you doing this, so it's not like something that would be super shocking.
This will be my 3rd show since they were born, so they've seen it before. They've been around it.
So it's just kind of the normal mom thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, where if someone who had never done it before started out, their kids might be like, "Okay, what are you doing?"
They're great. They now I have to check in with my coach every 4 days, and so I have to get up early in the morning and in my underwear and take pictures and do my little posing, and then I have to send it into my coach. But I got to wake my girls up pretty early to do that because I can't eat or do cardio. I have to, do my pictures before I eat or do cardio. So they get up, roll out of bed, take pictures of me. So that's pretty cool. And they help out with timing me on holding my poses and stuff like that. So they're into it, I think.
Yeah. So when you're having to eat this way, I have a question about this. Do you ever have like a craving for something that it's like totally you can't touch that and you're just like dying, or are you just so disciplined from so many years of doing this?
I'm pretty good with the diet thing. When you have to go on stage in a bikini, it's like helps you diet a little bit harder. You know what I mean?
Right.
When people are judging your physique.
That's true.
But you do have cravings. I like bread,
Right.
And the other day I walked past the front office here and I saw those big Snicker bars.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, those look pretty good. And I'm like thinking, should I eat this? Is it going to hurt me? And then I'm like, but is it going to help me? No, it's not going to help me. So
yeah, that's
just
true.
Walk away.
So what do you think, have you done any coaching, or have you thought about coaching? Or?
I used to personal train a long time ago, but I was in the gym so much I didn't want to work out myself, so I just kind of went away from that. But no, I'm not a coach. I'm a competitor.
Okay.
But I love to give advice. I mean, if people have questions, or, I've written people up diets before, and I've helped them with workouts, and, I've done stuff like that. But,
okay, cool.
I'm not an actual coach.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's good to know.
Coach myself.
Yeah.
Well, not now. But.
So if you go and compete and then you move on to nationals, what does that mean? Like, how much, where will that be? What will it cost? All those types of things.
If I do well at this Washington show, I'll qualify for nationals, and then the weekend after, I'll be going to Pittsburgh for nationals.
So it's just a week away from.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's a pretty fast turnaround.
Yeah, and usually I don't like doing back-to-back shows like that because it's really hard to peak that close.
Okay.
But since I'm already in shape and it's just a week, might as well go for it. And if I don't do well, then I'll just do another national show like in April.
Okay.
Start training again in January or something like that. So we'll see.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
And then if you do well in nationals, you can get your pro card, and then you're professional.
Okay. So I imagine like all that travel and everything too. It just like costs money, and does it cost to enter the competitions too?
Yeah, there's an entry fee, and then usually $130 per class. I'm only doing one class in Washington. I'm doing the open class. But if I was to do masters, they would, be $260 or something like that, entry fees. So you get sponsors to help you with that. And then there's an NPC card that you have to get, National Physique Committee card.
Okay.
And that's about $130 too. And then there's, all the prep you got to do. There's hair, nails, pedicure, makeup.
And just the right outfits.
Suit.
Yeah.
The suit itself can run from $400 to $1,000.
Wow.
For just a little piece of material with.
Right, but it has
rhinestones.
to stand out and be different from.
Well, nowadays, yes. Back when I used to compete, it was just a simple shirt. There was no bling bling,
Okay.
But it's gotten to be really, except for the women's bodybuilding category is not so, fancy, but they keep it more simple.
Wow.
But yeah.
Okay, and so she is also looking for sponsors. So if there's any businesses out there who want to have a lady bodybuilder that they represent from Alaska, you can contact Heidi. You can get a hold of us at Grizzly Family Fitness here too.
I do have some really great sponsors I want to throw out there.
Okay.
There's been a couple that have sponsored me through my whole career. And Abraham Gallo's Mexican restaurant, they've been sponsoring me for years.
Wow.
And then Lindsay Knight from Kodiak Athletic Club, he's been sponsoring me since I started. Used to own Gold's Gym in Anchorage a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
And I have Kim Pelletier Band, who also owns High Caliber Realty.
Okay.
And then, so I'm having a couple, and then I have Chris Cork, who owns Cork's Auto. He's a new sponsor I just picked up, and they're all great. They've all helped out quite a bit. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
and Warhammer Gym Gear too.
Okay, cool.
They've sent me some good workout stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. Do you have any special supplements or anything that you end up using too? Like any?
I'm not. I mean, I take the regular stuff that I need to, vitamins, and I don't take creatine. I don't take a lot of supplements really.
Like no whey drinks or anything?
Oh
like
yes,
that?
I do take protein.
Okay.
Powder and whey. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I take supplements, but they're just I take
regular vitamins.
Yeah, yes.
Regular vitamins and herbs and such. Okay. Cool. So I'm trying
Food
to
is always the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard that too. So I think that's about it. Can you think of anything that I haven't covered that would be? I'm going to include all kinds of pictures and the history of it in the video too, so make sure you follow through the whole thing so you don't miss out on any of these historical competitions that she's done along the way. Are your girls interested in like a future of doing this type of thing?
I
or
don't
did they,
think so.
No,
I don't think
they
it's
have their
thing.
own
Yeah, they don't have to do that. I mean,
ideas of what they want to do. And,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if you can't think of anything else to add, like if anybody watches this and they're like, I want to do that someday, do you have any advice?
Yeah, just do it for yourself. You know, don't do this for anybody except for yourself. You know, that's really important. You know, with the media and everything, people like to be on Instagram and people like to be on Facebook and, you know, more of an ego kind of thing. But, you know, you really have to just do it yourself.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for doing this interview, Heidi.
Yeah.
And we'll be cheering for you. We'll be excited to hear. I'll try and do an update
Thanks, I'm
on
getting excited.
how the competition goes. And what day do you leave?
I'll leave Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
Yep. Leave Thursday and then come back Sunday. It'll be a short trip. I'll go down there, compete,
Okay.
come back, and then fly out again, hopefully.
All right. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.